Hello guys, today's topic is cell structure and function. Okay, cell structure and functions. Okay, so first of all, we have to discuss about that. What is the means? What do you mean by the living and what do you mean by the non-living on the basis of cell? So simply you can remember it that living cell is present. Yani living organism means cell is present. Okay, and non-living cell absent. Simple. Cell is present, that is the living, and cell is absent, that is non-living. Okay, so now it's a time to living. What do you mean by the living? And living have cell. So which type of cell is present? Okay, so basically in living, how many type of cell is present? So in living, single cell and also many cell. Single cell in living organism and also many cell. In single cell, simple, you can see in single cell, yani in those organism which have a single cell, that type of organism is known as unicellular. What do you mean by the single cell? Means those living organism which have a single cell, that means unicellular. And those organism which have many cells, so you can say that that is multicellular organism. What is multicellular organism? Now one more thing, multicellular organism and in unicellular organism. So means which type of organism is known as a unicellular organism, which type of organism is known as a multicellular organism. So unicellular organism, simply you can say that those organisms which is made up of single cell, and those organisms which is made up of multiple cell. Okay, now in unicellular organism, example is amoeba. In multicellular organism, example is animals and plants. Means in multicellular organism, example is animals and plants. Unicellular organism, example is amoeba. Okay, now unicellular organism like amoeba are capable of first independent existence, and second performing essential functions of the life. That means unicellular organism have the tendency of independent existence, means they are not dependent on others. Okay, and performing essential function of life. Essential function of life means taking food, excretion, etc., etc. Now, like if we draw a diagram of amoeba, you can easily observe this is amoeba. Basically, in amoeba, you can say that this is nucleus, mitochondria, mitochondrion. Giant amoeba, you know that there is a many mitochondria is there. Okay, now that is contractile vacuole. Okay, you know that nucleus is controlling power of the cell. Okay, now mitochondria is the provide energy to the cell, and contractile vacuole help amoeba in osmoregulation. The whole in unicellular organism, whole activity is regulated by such type of compartment. Yes, such type compartment, not clearly you can say that compartment, controlled by such type of like nucleus, mitochondria and contractile vacuole. Okay, so we can say that on behalf of this, we can say that anything less than a complete structure of cell, anything less than a complete structure of cell does not ensure independent existence. Means anything less than a complete structure of cell does not ensure independent existence. That means if anything want independent existence, at least one cell is present there. At least one cell is present there. Okay, now that's why hence we can say that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Hence, that means anything less than a complete structure of cell does not ensure independent existence. That's why we can say that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Now, who discovered? Discover is not appropriate word here, but in NCERT there is a word written that is discovered. So here we also cell was discovered. Cell was discovered by Robert Hooke. Actually, Robert Hooke worked on cork cell, and cork cell is actually a dead cell. So dead cell. So actually Robert Hooke observed their outer wall. And outer wall means what is? Outer wall means cell wall. Okay. So Robert Hooke discovered the cell wall, not actually cell, but coined the term cell, and he described this whole information in his book that is written by him, that is known as Micrographia. Okay. Now, so cell was discovered by Robert Hooke, and term given by also Robert Hooke. So don't be confused. Okay, so don't be confused. So question is here, if Robert Hooke worked on a cork cell that is a dead, so which scientist worked on first time on living cell? Okay, so living cell was first seen by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Which scientist? Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Now, discovery of nucleus. So, which scientist is credited for the discovery of nucleus? That is Robert Brown. Which scientist? Robert Brown. Now, so one more thing. If Robert Hooke discovered a dead cell, Robert Hooke discovered cell, okay, and worked on dead cell and observed the outer membrane, so how is it possible? How is it possible? It is possible by microscope. Okay, it is possible by microscope. Now, so we have to learn about small information in respect to microscope. So there is two microscope. One is phase contrast microscope. So phase contrast microscope discovered by Jarnett. Phase contrast microscope discovered by Jarnett. Okay. A study of cell without staining. In this microscope, study of cell without staining. Now, second most important microscope is, that is electron microscope. That is most important microscope. Electron microscope. The electron microscope discovered by Knoll and Ruska. Knoll and Ruska, that is in 1932. Okay, 1932. So in this electron microscope, that is also known as a staining microscope. So in biology, this electron microscope is most important things, because when we have to study about the anatomy of organs, anatomy of when we have to observe detailed structure of cell, tissue, histopathology, So we use this electron microscope. So in biology, electron microscope is most important. Okay, so we will discuss after this. We will discuss in next class. Till then, thank you. Bye.